What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream, guys and girls. We've got our Thursday stream for the regulars. That means game analysis. What's up, Schieberspieler? Tools analysis board. Let's see how this board looks like. How does that fit on the screen? It looks a little low. Did I move the board down? Let me adjust this. Guys, Thursday stream, normally we're doing game analysis submissions from the subscribers. Where's my window capture? Alright, just a second. How does it keep moving? It seems like it's moving down without getting moved. Feels like my board just very small amount of movement. Mr. Coffee just subscribed. Thank you, Mr. Coffee. You're the man. The man of the moment. Alright, guys. Guys and girls, I must have missed some people. Let me know if I missed you. Because I've only got Princess Chess, Asterbait, Yabatis, and WJ Loof. Mr. Coffee just subscribed to Tier 2. 37 months. So he's not a founder. I'm surprised. Actually, Mr. Coffee, you must have just missed out on being a founder. The only... Who has founder badge? Move 11? Even Asterbait doesn't have it. Us girls, an afterthought. Girls and guys. Just Move 11 and Bob. We'll have a last longer common poker parlance. Last longer side bet. We'll see who lasts longer between Move 11 and Bob. So I've got to have other submissions besides those 4 games. Someone on sound, welcome. Even though you're just a guy. Alright. I can't take another Magnus Carlsen tournament. That's why I've titled the stream. I've titled the stream what I titled it. Just Real Chess, no name dropping or clickbait titles. If I see another Magnus Carlsen Blitz tournament, I don't know. I'm gonna pull my eyes out. It's so boring. It's gotten beyond the point of boring. I can't believe anyone is even interested at this point. It's just every day is Magnus Carlsen. It's like Groundhog Day. I don't care about Magnus Carlsen and some Blitz game that he's playing today. It's not that interesting. Alright. Princess Chess, Asterbait, Yabatis, WJ Loof. What do we got for games outside of those 4? I feel like we must have missed somebody. You hear the sound of the beer can opening. It could be. You've been invited to do analysis for Chess Club. Some of the weekly club games. Cool. Someone on sound, welcome to submit a game. We have plenty of time. I'll probably end up with too many games. The messages, the other problem I'm running into is that because people are sending more of these spam messages on lichess all the time, my inbox is full of, will you join my team? Play in my money tournament for $5. It's just like every day I'm getting these announcements, so it's hard to keep track of my lichess messages. We're going to get started with Princess Chess, Asterbait, Yabatis, and WJ Loof first. Someone on sound will stay tuned for your submission. I'm popular like all the title players, I guess, on lichess get these messages from people promoting their teams and tournaments. I guess they don't send them out to necessarily everyone. I would rather I didn't get any of them. It's just really irritating. Alright, Princess Chess is up first. I've had a long day, but I feel good. Did I see Schieberspieler was here? Or am I hallucinating? Did I just hallucinate that I thought Schieberspieler was here? Did I just make that up? No, he is here. Okay. How have your streams been going? I don't have any time to watch you because I'm just like barely capable of doing my own work. I'll totally join your stream sometime, but I'm basically like working all the time when I'm not streaming. I almost never have any time off. I don't have time. My dad used to say he didn't have time to go to the bathroom. That was his favorite stopgap joke. I guess I have enough time for that, but that's about all. Asterbait, where's your game for this week? Maybe it's in the list here. VIP Dynamite? Eddie Walker. Jimmy Walker. Would you like to provide live commentary on this game for Friday's subscriber stream? That was last week. Here it is. Last Thursday was my highest blitz rating of 1638. Congratulations, guys. Congratulations to VIP Asterbait with his highest blitz rating of all time. 1638. Are you serious? You never got up to 1638? Asterbait just donated 1,000 bits. Thank you, man. I'll consider it a Christmas present. It looks like Schieberspieler probably sent in a game. So, Schieberspieler. Not Schieberspieler. Did I say Schieberspieler? I don't know about Schieberspieler, but I was just talking about him. Someone on sound just sent in a game. I'm sorry. I meant someone on sound. You're like Asterbait, an Arsenal fan. Someone on sound and Schieberspieler have too many S's. So my feeble little brain like can't handle that. It's like I start malfunctioning. The S followed by S and the S followed by S. I can't differentiate after working all day. Like a chess laborer. I am a chess laborer. Alright. So anyway, Asterbait, thank you for a 1,000-bit donation. Guys, please support the stream. Gift a sub, or give some bits if you can. Asterbait's highest rating, 1638. He managed to beat a 2038 in streamer battle. You streamer shared with groupies. Thanks for that. Alright, creator of groupies. Creator groupies group. Okay, so here we go. It's a short game. This guy, you beat this guy? No way. Asterbait, are you serious? You beat George Alex? He's beaten me. That's like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever. You can do like 6 degrees of Sladgie. Oh, you've beaten me too. I lost to George Alex like 2 weeks ago. This guy's a very solid player. So Asterbait's white. This is a 3-0 game. And the guy's fast. I've been trying to tell him not to play knight f3 against stuff like g6, c6. He doesn't listen. The Asterbait is very stubborn. But it is a 3-0 tournament. There's not a lot of time to think. So I'm not going to judge you on knight f3. It's like an autopilot move. So he plays this knight f6. This is some obscure pseudo-Alekhine defense. Kind of a cool idea, actually. So a lot of interesting players have tried this, including the unmentionable world champion, who just gets too much publicity and he's driving me crazy. Like, I can't stand watching any more people post their Clickbait Magnus Carlsen title stream. It's ridiculous. You need to stop now. Actually, I think this is more interesting when Black hasn't played Bishop G7 yet. The Norwegian. That Norwegian guy, whoever his name is, whatever his name is, I think I played him once. Can't remember his name. But it's more interesting to do it without Bishop G7. You know, so if we go here, knight f6, and then e5, the point is, you got knight h5 now, and the knight can pop back here, like the knight fianchetto, deep dish knight. That's an important resource for Black, to have that retreat back to g7. I mean, every streamer is like just putting Magnus Carlsen in there or Hikaru Nakamura in their title now so that it looks like something interesting. I just can't deal with it anymore. It's just disgusting. So anyway, they just put their names in their stream to make people like click on their stream. I just it's horrible. The Fianchetto knight, yeah. So knight f3, bishop g7, d4. He doesn't have the ability to play knight h5, knight g7 here. So obviously if e5, knight h5, you know, g4, game over. It's not as fun this way. Oh. Thanks, Coach Off, for the update. That's very interesting. And Artemiev is like the second best player in the world, so it makes it even more interesting. Absolutely critical watching. I don't know how I can, you know, wake up tomorrow morning having missed it. But I'd rather analyze the game with like a 1600 player than watch that, honestly. We probably learn more from it. But seriously, knight h5 is not a possibility. This is playable though. So Asterbate, did you go for it? e5? You did play e5? No. I mean, it will transpose to a form of Alekhine. He could play knight g8, but I mean, that's very sketchy. So he pretty much has to play knight d5. So you've got this weird Alekhine. c4, knight b6. c5, knight d5. I mean, I'm not sure if c5 is the best move or not. What do you guys think? Is there a better way of playing this? Maybe not even c4. Maybe white should play bishop c4. My good friend Yevgeny Romanov. He's such a nice guy. I have only good things to say about everybody today. But I like Magnus. What's his name? Magnus whatever. That Magnus guy is actually fairly civil and a good sport. But this guy, bishop c4. Yeah, I don't know. One or the other. Either bishop c4 or c4. I guess theoretically you could play like bishop e2 or something quiet if you wanted to. And nobody says you have to play bishop c4. Anyway, Asterbate, that's the best approach. Knight c3 transposes the Pierts. It looks like we could get a Schieberspieler variation. Uh-oh. Schieberspieler, are you having an influence on Asterbate's play? Dude, what's this about? The Schieberspieler attack? Pierts variation? Are you serious? I've never seen Asterbate like put his bishop on d3. Yeah, this is like a universal setup. You just do like bishop d3, c3, castles, knight on bd2, rook e1. Yeah, maybe Asterbate started watching your stream too much. What does black do? Castles? Fine. I mean, there's no aggressive threats here with like e5, so black doesn't have to play d6. Maybe he could try something interesting like c5, in fact. Castles. There's the possibility for something dynamic for black here. Is c5. Maybe. Something funky and cool. This just turns into a normal position. Let's check this out. Can you do c5 for black? Can George Michael? I called him Jason Alexander. I'm 2-2 against the guy, which is not good. I mean, c5 would be a fun way to mix it up. Coach, it's so normal that there's 0 games with that move. But I get your point. Absolutely. Coach, nothing impresses Coach A. A theoretical novelty on move 5, and he says it's normal. I mean, D takes C5, knight A6. Maybe we go really Emery Tate style. World loser doesn't like C5. You know, if you want to approach this position in a mathematical way, you know, maybe C5 isn't the best move. Maybe there is a mathematically best move for black here. If world loser wants to be correct, I don't know if world loser plays the Pierce. Do you play the Pierce? If you want to be mathematically correct, yeah, C5, E5. This is one possibility. And the other possibility is like 98. It's not that easy for black to get the pawn back, and world loser's probably right. But anyway, it's fun and interesting. Castles, D6, C3, and now B6. I like this. I've played like this myself. I don't think the B6 is bad. I can't believe it's bad. The normal approach here would be knight C6 and E5, like that game I had with... I had a game with Schieberspieler where I lost. E5, H3. I don't remember if you played H3, Rook E8. We had a games like exactly like this. That Magnus guy again has another game here. He lost with black. I just can't get away from him. He's just got a monopoly on the chess world. But okay, B6 is interesting. Now Astrobate. This may well be a Tory attack now. It looks like a Tory attack to me. It's basically a standard Mr. Coffee. You've got your standard Mr. Coffee position now after Bishop G5. I don't think a Schieberspieler would play that, but I don't think it's a bad move. It's a standard idea. Bishop G5 is okay. But it's funny because like Astrobate is now literally playing something he has no knowledge of whatsoever. I have never seen Astrobate play anything like this. Astrobate, were you like possessed by Mr. Coffee when you played this game or something? I've never seen him play anything even close to this setup with like Bishop D3, C3, Bishop G5. This is like a 3-0 game and you just got possessed by a different intellect or something. This is not at all how you normally play. H6, Bishop H4, Bishop B7, Knight D2, Knight BD7. Now the only slight indication this is an Astrobate game is the next move, Rook C1. This is some sort of pattern he likes to employ with bringing the bishop back and not obstructing his rook. Absolutely standard Tory attack. It looks like Rook E1. We've got Gelfand Mamedyarov. I actually remember Mamedyarov playing this double fianchetto setup. I don't know if it was that game or another one. Damn, Knight H5. That's the engine move. Hyper modern knight maneuver. See, that's why Schieberspieler doesn't play Bishop G5 to avoid this. That's pretty cool. But those are some good players playing black there. Universal setup, exactly. That's amazing. So the engine actually wants to play Knight H5 immediately, even a move earlier, heading for F4. Now Rook E1, you know, and the bishop will come back to F1. That's also sort of standard treatment. Anyways, Rook C1's a bad move. This is a waste of time. Your rook has no mobility here. C5 looks reasonable. This guy's a pretty good player in Blitz. Astrobate, there's literally no reason whatsoever for you to play Bishop E1 here. Literally no reason. If anything, there's a reason not to. Yeah, no, I mean, Gata always played the Tory attack since like 1988 or whenever he came to the United States. I remember when he won the U.S. Championship in 1989 or 90, the first time he was playing the Tory attack. He didn't play the London system. He's just jumped on the bandwagon. So Bishop B1. Anyway, that's enough of that discussion. Boring. Astrobate Rook C1, Bishop E1. You're doing your like recorded plan. And now Black played G5. So he didn't know about this idea. Interesting idea. This seems like a standard plan, though. Black weakens his king side. It could be problematic, though. It looks like Astrobate's going to set him up for that standard trap. The computer says you had E5. Yes, Coach Ah. No one had ever heard of the London system. We should give all credit to Brian McCarthy, actually, who was playing the London system since birth, or some other random masters who are playing it since like 1982. I mean, the London system, there's tons of people who played it, like, for years. Dolly Teasley, if you really want to be, or some sort of players from the 70s, long before Gata was born. The London system is just, I hate talking about it. I'm sorry that I brought it up. Did I bring it up? But anyway, knight h5, queen c2. And now he can just shut you down with e5. So Astrobate's just playing for a cheapo. e5, you clear the diagonal. Maybe your plan actually works. Omid Malek? That sounds familiar, Man of Spurs. The name sounds really familiar. How does Black stop you from killing him on the diagonal, by the way? I mean, is there a way to stop it? It looks really dangerous for Black. So this is a mistake because he can shut you down with e5. Although that's an ugly move for Black. This is also an ugly situation. Your pieces are actually completely effed up in this position. Bleep. They're completely bleeped up. We start self-correcting. Like, what are you going to do with those pieces on C2, C1, and B1? It's a disaster, man. You're going to have to completely reorganize everything. Though I think it's possible. It's possible that you're active enough. You can get here, knight C4, knight E3, knight E5. So he just let you sneak in with queen h7. Maybe he figured it wasn't a big deal. So what's the final word on rook e8? Well, I guess knight g6. Knight g6 is also possible. Or he could even play f5. What's the lesser of the evils? f5? I mean, it's awful for Black positionally. Bishop f4, pawn f4. This looks pretty awful. Schieberspieler would would win, probably. Oh, Omen is a chess propagate. I remember. Yeah, that's why I noticed. Okay. I thought so. Let me guess. He plays the London 2, right? Yeah. Original. You made me say it again. I will not say the name of the world champion or that stupid opening with Bishop F4 again once on the stream. I just want to prove I have self-determination. I will not say the name of the current world champion or the really overplayed garbage opening where white plays Bishop F4. I will not say those things again. You can't trick me into saying it again today. What's the capital of? Can't remember. Just totally forgot. It just slipped my mind. E5. So F5. What are you going to do about this, Acerbate? Anything? What do you guys think is the best defense here? Rook E8, Queen H7 check, King F8. Can we do anything here? Do we have anything? Takes. It's surprisingly hard to break black's position. You know, your best line might be something like Bishop E4. It's like trading off his bishop pair and having this like crushing, just basically like a crushing two knights against bishop and knight or something. Queen H7 and H4 was suggested. This also looks very dangerous. If you take, imagine if you take this guy. The F file is devastating. E6 is possible. So I think black should have tried probably F5. But alas, he allowed mate in one. Good game. Very difficult position for black at this point. Acerbate did reach 16, what did you say? 1634? Anyway, guys. I got a notification from Berserker. Alright. Luckily for you, we still have some slots left for game analysis. So that was our just sort of entertainment warm-up game. I don't know why I skipped Princess Chess. We were supposed to do Princess Chess this game first, but Acerbate like donated 1,000 bits. So I guess I got distracted. This is what happens when you don't pay attention to Acerbate's master plan. Another 1,000 bits, and that's 25 emotes shared. Cool, man. Thanks, dude. I'm the sheriff around here. Alright, guys. Thanks, Acerbate. Let's find Princess game. We skipped over her game. Having trouble finding it. Okay, sending in early game analysis. Very early. Mega battle game versus a GM. There's only 2 GMs in the tournament, right? Luca Brasi. I drew this guy in the last game. He was playing the black side of a Dutch, and we didn't know who he is. I threw out the wild speculation that Luca Brasi could be Pop Jula, but it doesn't really make sense because they were both in the tournament at the same time. I don't think so. But we don't know who this is. Alright, so Princess Chess is playing against the GM. He actually had the best score in the streamer battle, I think, on Sunday. Guys, don't forget we got streamer battle again this Sunday, 3 p.m. If you'd like to join our team, the Pawn and Horses Club. Thanks to the Aster mate. Congratulations to Acerbate. Beautiful mate. Princess Chess is playing black now. It's a Benko with b5, takes a6. So Grandmaster, the mystery Grandmaster plays pawn takes a6. And okay, so like a lot of the books say you're supposed to play g6. I am not an expert on this. Wasn't it like Legion or someone that was arguing? I don't know if Coach Ah was here for this discussion. He'd like to discuss, you know, arbitrary questions about chess openings and stuff. Was Was it someone who was claiming that this was the true Banco or something like that? Was that the question? There were questions about what the Volga Gambit is. We had this discussion once. What the Volga Gambit is and what the Banco is or something like that? Is that... Does that filter into this discussion? Because I'm not an expert. I only had one book ever on the Banco by Gufeld, and I was good friends with John Fedorovich, but I never played the Banco and never really talked to him about it. Volga is just a name in Russia. That's what I thought, but there's some people that are arguing that it's different. It's actually slightly different. I don't know. It looks like this move has a better reputation and a better score. There's some technical reason why this move order is better for black. I'm not quite an expert on why. It looks like it transposes after this. It doesn't matter anymore. Except Princess Chess didn't do that. Princess Chess played d6. Now you're transposing to like some kind of King's Indian. Kidding me. You didn't take on f1. I can't believe it. The CM. The Norwegian CM. What does CM stand for again? Princess Chess, how could you not play Bishop takes f1? WJ Loof, welcome. Princess Chess was nervous because she was playing a GM. She doesn't get to play GMs every day. So she just like blitzed the move out or something. So Schieber says that the topical line is g6, knight c3, bishop g7, e4, castles, knight f3, queen f5. g6 instead of a6. You're talking about 5 g6 after a6 takes. Right. a6 takes, g6. Wow, WJ Loof, thanks for the donation. 500 bits. Coronavirus Master. I said I wouldn't say his name, and I won't say the name of that opening I hate. The whole stream. WJ Loof and asked to be very generous today, guys. So g6 now, knight c3, and there's something with queen a5. There's some kind of line. Knight c3, bishop g7, e4 castles. I had a student who did stuff like this. I didn't really ever learn it. So there's some funky move orders here. I don't know, if it's good or not. But it looks like it had a good score. So that's technically the hottest thing around, I guess. Not a lot of people playing the Benko. I don't know why, though. I think it's great opening practically, but obviously you have to play bishop takes f1. This is not optional, Princess Chess. Like, you take away white's ability to castle, and it's going to take them a move or two to get their king to safety. So after this, you're just like playing a weird King's Indian, which I've actually done. Rook takes. There's a famous game where Kyrgyz did this, and my inspiration was Zurich, 1953, where Kyrgyz played it and won in some game. But it's not really correct to do this. Black's just down a pawn here. So Princess Chess just enjoys giving pawn odds to grandmasters, basically. It looks like bishop f4 was a new move, though. Okay, it's a 3-0 game. White's not going to play perfectly. This seems to make sense. But I think that Princess Chess should play queen e8. Maybe not, though. We have knight b5. Is that a problem? I don't know. Knight b5, maybe a little bit of an issue. Yeah, I take it back. I guess queen e8's not a good move. It looks difficult to deal with knight b5. Ouch. That's just it, man. You just lose the exchange now. The guy actually played this. This is embarrassing. It's a 2362 player. Damn. That's embarrassing. Arsenal fan, what's up? Cheers. So, white was caught off guard, played bishop f4, black gets away, and now h3. Standard move to stop knight g4. I've played blitz games. Now you should do your queen a8, maybe. No, you can also consider queen a5. You could maybe just leave the queen where it is and try to play knight c7. Queen b8 is another move. I guess sacking the exchange here is it's a little bit too fantastic. Yeah, it's too much. So the main problem is e5. But the problem is I don't think we can do like knight e8. It looks too slow. I mean, white's playing e5 and breaking in the center with a good game. Anybody have an opinion about this? Rook takes b2. Well, we can't do it yet. We can't sack an entire rook. Maybe rook takes b2 next move. Yeah, I mean, knight h5, though. The problem with knight h5, the knight's on the side of the board. When we play knight e8, our knight will recycle into the game. So we'll only do knight h5 if it's like a concrete tactic that definitely works. This is another kind of standard move. Maybe that's good. You can freeze him laterally and weasel your way into like controlling d4. Yeah, knight h5. So if here you have rook takes b2, so white has to take care and probably play bishop d2. Then the question is, you know, you're paying the price with your knight out on h5. I'm not sure how serious the problem it is. Maybe it's not that bad. I don't know. Maybe it's not that bad. No, I don't know. You know, it might not seriously be that bad. Let me check with the Oracle. It's the best move according to the Oracle. I would never play bishop takes c3 there. You know, that's the idea, to take this. I mean, never say never. It hurts to play that move. I don't know if I really want the pawn back that bad. This bishop is extremely strong. It's playable. You know, if you don't mind playing a passive game, it looks like you could get away with it. You could play f6 or whatever. It's kind of ugly and go into like a defensive crouch. It is playable, Arsenal fan. I agree. I don't really like it stylistically, but it's possible. She's trying to keep control of d5 and therefore stop like e5. Here, classic move, of course, taking away the knight squares, but her knight's hanging. So now we have an improved Arsenal fan situation. Is it improved or not? Well, b3 is weaker now, so it's interesting. Again, I'm not sure if I would do this, but it's hard to blame her. I've done it in the King's Indian. I remember doing it in a Makaganov King's Indian with black. There's a big difference, though. I mean, this pawn is a lot weaker. The 7th rank is open. I mean, still black's going to have to kind of grovel with f6, knight g7. Kocha, you're close to getting timed out for mentioning that. Rook takes a1, excuse me, a2, queen c1. Subtle plans. So now we've got to play f6. Right? But if f6, man, this is a tricky move. I mean, he's taking away knight f4. So threatening g4 and then queen h6 with a mass murder on the king side. What about f6? Is the problem now g4, g5? Can he like tear apart the dark squares? You know, it actually looks pretty durable for black. Like you go back, you're on the 7th, you got the base of your pawn chain, which is maintainable. I mean, this looks pretty okay. So she's all right. Rook takes a2, queen c1, f6 with the idea of knight g7. The fianchetto knight. Well, as an accelerated dragon player, where our dark square bishop gets exchanged in the Marazzi a lot, that's a pretty standard thing to do. Princess Chess, you might also think about like when you're playing in the closed Sicilian and black's dark square bishop gets exchanged off on g7. Oftentimes they play f6 to kind of build up the defenses on the dark squares. National Master Dale. Greetings, Mr. Pascal and the chess peeps. Have I missed many brilliancies? National Master Dale, welcome. Well, this is our second brilliancy for today. Brilliancy in the making. Princess Chess versus Luca Brasi, Grandmaster. Knight d7. Okay, is there no urgency here? Maybe you have time to play f6 on a later move. Oh no. So you could still do it, right? This is basically just the same thing. Different day. If g4, knight g7. If g5, you can play rook f8. I mean, the f file could actually come in handy for black here. A grandmaster versus a princess. Oh, you want to play knight g5 like here? What do you want to do? I was thinking rook f8. Oh, you want to play knight g5. Jeez. But she's got defense. Knight f8. Snug as a bug in a rug. It looks like black's surviving. Bug rug. I mean, if black has a little time, they might be able to wheedle their way into white's position, you know, somehow. There's all sorts of entry points, ports of entry. So it's amazingly how durable black's defenses really are here. So it looks like f6 is an integral part. After knight f6, there's a big problem because you're tied down to h7. So what does he do? I'm surprised he didn't play knight g5 here. I guess there you have knight f8 as well, though. So he goes here. This is a 3-minute game. The engine has this as a winning position for white. Damn. That's pretty nice intuition. He's dropping his d5 pawn. Taking with the knight is dangerous. I mean, I'm wondering if we could even take it with the knight. Did you do that? What happens here? Knight d5, pawn e6. I don't want to know about this. That doesn't look safe. I have a bad feeling about this, folks. I don't need to see anymore. I think e6 is a problem. So black did not fall for that trick. What about taking and then taking with the queen on d5? That's what you did. Well, I guess this is forced. And now The threat of this is very invasive. Knight c6 is a huge problem. Did you have knight d5 now? Could you do this? There's bad things. Bad things are gonna happen again. Oof, knight takes g6, that's just terrible. Knight takes g6. Unhealthy. That's not good. There's like a million ways to get mated here for black. Very easy to do. Knight takes. Now you know why you're supposed to play f6. What could possibly go wrong? That move over there is given a try. What move is that? I think you have to take it. I mean, this is forced. It's just... No, I mean, you have to take it. What happens here? You're not down any material. White's got a strong bishop. But d5 is hanging. Bishop takes e5. Your rook is hit. And there's this lever with d6. Grammatical error. I don't know, this doesn't look good, but maybe there's a way black can still survive. Knight e8. No. We gotta move the rook. There is a problem. It looks like d6 is a serious problem. Apparently rook b6. I guess there's an exchange sacrifice? Yeah, you have to do this. This is desperate. This is really desperate. This isn't going to hold anymore. Yeah, I think black's lost at this point. It looks like you're lost. Should have played f6. The attacking master, though, has good instincts. So it's mate in 10 for white, according to the engine. But anyway, there's no defense. Little problem with g7. Has he been revealed? I don't know. Arena Crush Trainer. Oh, you mean Kashishvili? Alright. Coach A was talking about Kashishvili earlier. Okay, let's move on. What do we got? Yabadis is up next. Uber driver, welcome. Ayubates. I don't know who that's... Yeah, I don't know if that's who Princess Chess was referring to. She just said Arena Crush's trainer. I mean, I assume Arena Crush's probably had like 5 trainers in her life. I'm sure she's gone through quite a few. She seems to have had a lot of training. But, not me. I just went to Gingy's house for the free food. So we've got Yabadis coming up next. Arena has the same score against me as Josh Waitzkin. 1 loss and 1 draw. They should be proud. Free food is good. I've got Yabadis up next. Alright. Ayubates. That's the wrong thing or not? Where are you, Ayubates? I think I got the wrong message there. Alright, let's see. We gotta scroll up. scrolling up. Our personal messages. I will not offer the following game. That's ancient. Iobatis, where is your game? Maybe Iobatis didn't send me a game. Maybe he just thought he did. No, here. Here it is. Sorry. That's 112. That's correct. I got it. Alright. Iobatis. So this is Rapid Chess, who also reached his high. Coffee for Christmas. I want an appointment book so I can keep track of my lessons and not be late for my lessons. That's all I asked Santa for. Santa, can I please have another yearly appointment book? That's really sad, isn't it? When all you do is work and you ask Santa for a Christmas present of an appointment book. That's how pathetic I am. It's really sad. You know you work too much. Yeah, you asked for a 2021 appointment book. Alright. Someone that sound is like, nice. It is sad. I'd like to submit this for Thursday's stream. A cute little game. Alright, this is Yabatis, who reached his rapid rating maximum. I should learn to just like use the appointment thing on like Windows or Google or whatever. I really need to modernize. It's sad to be that old-fashioned that I have to use like a paper and pencil or paper and pen to write down my appointments. Yeah, exactly. But I'm old school. So this is Yabatis, who reached his rapid record 2,100 and what? How do you have all those Uber driver meetings on a wall calendar, Uber driver? 2115 record. So that's what you get by watching my stream. There's no MC, you know. We don't learn about playing Bishop F4 on move 2, but you just get better at chess and you reach your record rating. That's happened with 2 people. Alright, I'm going to get started now. This is Yabatis playing white. I used to do it on the wall calendar, but there's not enough space anymore. I just have too much stuff. There's no way it would fit on a wall calendar. Clearly you guys just don't work enough. Knight c3, knight f6, d3. I like these, you know, calendar books that have like hourly meeting spots. So I also followed Yabatis' lead and I'm playing this knight c3 sort of stuff. Yeah, my handwriting is bad. I need extra room for this sloppy, like, doctor handwriting that I have. I'm always joking that Arsenal, how much are you getting paid for advertising PopG? I like PopG. But I suspect there's something going on here. He's definitely getting some sort of kickback. That just sounds too contrived. I rated PopG the other day. He's a good guy. He made you a mod. Oof. Papagenos is good. I haven't had some Papagenos since last October. D3, E5. So what is this? It's a reverse Nimzovich / modern. Reverse Nimzovich / modern Pierce. And black plays an interesting move now. Bishop b4, theoretical novelty. You know, that's the move that we like to see in the Nimzovich. I like it when my opponents give me their bishops for nothing. Yabatis is probably happy about this. Papagenos is a New England pizza place. National Master Dale, you're clearly not from New England. You just thought I'd say to everyone because this is probably the most destructive chess stream on Twitch. Damn. You're getting close and closer to being a mod here, Arsenal fan. After that comment. He's working his way up. But I don't do kickbacks, really. So, Yabatis and I have a difference of opinion on this whole, like, bishop for knight thing. He's real big on pawn structure. I need a sponsor so I don't have to work so much. That would just simplify everything. If somebody wants to just give me like $250,000 for Christmas instead of the planner, it would just simplify everything. And I'll get back to you with my tournament schedule and my plan for how to become a grandmaster in the next couple of years. But Yabatis and I have a different feel about this thing. He likes playing like bishop d7 or bishop d2. And I don't mind the doubled pawns. I actually think the doubled pawns are kind of dynamic. Beer sponsor's good. Beer sponsor's a good start. And with less work, you have fewer appointments and be able to fit them on the wall calendar. I might even be able to, like, just, you know, skip the wall calendar altogether. The thing about doubled pawns is that doubled pawns lead to an open file. You know, so there's advantages. If black takes here, we get a free half-open file with every pizza. I mean, sorry, I was just thinking about Papagenos again. You guys made me hungry. But, I'm just trying to argue that I think that it's not mandatory to play bishop d2. Basically, we can play knight f3. If d4, you can play a3. No problem. If bishop a5, b4. And white has a good game. You know, so I don't think... The point is that I don't think that black's threatening anything in this position, necessarily. This is not a threat, in my opinion. This is not necessarily a threat. Alright, so Yabatis plays bishop d2. It's a development. There's nothing wrong. The move's perfectly okay. I just want to explain to the viewers that I don't necessarily have to play this move. It's totally a good move. It may be the best move. Another interesting move is like bishop g5. Though here, for example, we have to be able to make sure that we can reclaim that pawn on c3 in this type of variation. That can be surrounded if you come out with your hands up. But, I mean, this type of thing is cool. Totally classic, like, reverse Nimzovich system. I love playing queen b8 with black in the Nimzovich. Give me some beer. Alright. A good sponsorship deal. I have a friend who has a brewery in Florida. Coach maybe I'll ask him to sponsor me. Castles, e4, d4, knight b1. So the big classic question about where the knight should go, b1 or e2. I think that, you know, it's both are possible. There's more problems with coordination. More problems with coordination here. Swampy beer water. I don't know about that. Anyway. Castles, e4, d4, knight b1. This is a shame, though, to trade your dark square bishop. Technically, it's your good b, so... And then black plays like a c5, knight c6 type of King's Indian. That seems correct for black. This is preventing the classic knight g4, knight e3. So you like knight b1 better. I didn't know Florida had a problem with lead in their water. I was afraid like alligators would crawl out through the toilet or something. Bite you on the butt. More realistic issue. Bishop e6. Knight e2. Threatening f4. So the problem here is our bishop. Yabatis one showed me a very similar game. I wish my king was like still on e8. Maybe I wouldn't castle kingside. Yeah, he has nothing to fear though. Actually, if you try to do a kingside pawn storm, you don't have the dark square bishop to like mate him on the king side. This seems fine for black. Castle, castle, and then rook c8. Okay. f4. Now what? I think rook c8 is weird. Black should probably prepare, you know, normally for the pawn storm, right? b5 is fine, but it's also a little slow. He didn't have to play bishop e6, but if he's going to play bishop e6, and this is going to be a question, maybe it's not a big deal, though. Maybe you guys are right. Maybe it's okay. The problem is like the bishop's going to have to go back to d7 here if f4, f5. Maybe it's not. Of course he's planning c4. I have no questions about black's plan on the queen side. It's just a question of how we're going to deal with white's plan. How's black going to deal with white's kingside play without taking on f4 and allowing g takes f? Rook c8 isn't necessarily best. This looks like a good move for sure. You know, it's very natural we play f4, f6, and I think black has a good game. I don't know, guys. This looks good for black. It's just a kind of bad King's Indian for white, I think. You're missing your dark squared bishop. This is my biggest concern. Knight d7 is probably better than knight e8. Knight e8 is also possible. Totally playable. We're going to do the similar plan with the knight coming here. And sometimes knight f7. If f5, like Uber drivers, playing knight d6, knight f7 to slow down white's kingside. But white has no mating attack without a dark square bishop to sacrifice. You know, the attack is not nearly as strong without that kind of piece. So it's not going to be easy. There's just no way to do like a classic King's Indian style attack without that bishop on the board. It's going to be a problem. White plays f4, now c4, which is interesting. So if f5, he takes on d3 and then retreats his bishop. That's what happened. So black's made progress on the c file, and we've grabbed some space, but we still have a very bad bishop and no necessarily a successful attack on the king side. So I think that black is doing okay here so far. g4. Well, we got to pull the knight away. I guess we're down to knight e8 now. The other possibility is what he did with h6. This is a little artificial, but possible. h6, knight h7. Another option. Yes. The problem with h6 and knight h7, if it caves in, like you've weakened your king side, it better work. You know, it's like building a dam or something. If the dam doesn't hold, then you're totally gone. With this option, you know, maybe we can play like f6 and even... I guess evacuation isn't really going to happen now. I guess. I like knight e8. Now knight h7. Clearly knight h7. But Yabatis was planning this, probably. Black just ignores white's attack and goes for counterplay on the queen side. He just had this pawn had to be defended. Oh no, so you just had knight d6, winning the exchange? So black's last move is a blunder. He does have some interesting ideas. You're a damn engineer. You concur with my assessment. If this dam breaks, it's going to be hell to pay on the king side. I mean, in other words, like the general advice, not to spend all day on this position, but the general advice when facing a pawn storm is don't touch anything around the king. That's the first number one option. That's almost always the best option. In other words, like black faces this position of this oncoming pawn storm. Classic advice is like you don't want to touch anything because you just weaken yourself if you do it. So what I'm saying is like when you're doing h6 and knight h7, I mean if this comes through anyway, if he's able to play h4 and g5, it'll like fall apart even faster than if you hadn't moved any pawns. General explanation. Thank you for an engineering assessment. What about queen e7? You know, queen e7, defending the pawn. f6 could be an issue in some positions, hitting the queen. King h8. That's like getting in the basement before the tornado comes. I'd rather run out in the yard with like king e7. This is seriously though, it should be manageable for black without a dark square bishop. This kingside attack should be manageable. Seriously. You have a trick, rook e8, knight e6, knight c2. So let's take a look. The ever tricky Arsenal fan realized that it's not so clear. We have a counter trick. Oh my god. That's like very, very unpleasant. Knight here. Nice spot. This is a serious problem. So knight c8. Oh, actually white has knight e8, right? And we're threatening to trade on f6. It's not so simple. But you're still winning back the exchange, are you? Maybe not. Maybe not. We have rook c1. It's a deep knight here. It's a little problem with knight e3. But after rook c8 we just recapture. We get the exchange back in all lines. That's pretty cool. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so you're in a good spot, Arsenal. You get the exchange back anyway. This move is not a blunder, it looks like. Not really a blunder. I don't think that black is that bad. You know, white's key piece isn't on the board. And he got the quick C file open, and he's got pressure on the base of the chain at d3. I feel like I disagree, Mana Spurs. I think black's doing all right. I think he's doing all right. And white has a very bad piece. The only bad minor piece on the board is white's bishop on g2. Bobby Fischer lost twice because of that bishop against Paul Kyrgios, and Carol Khan like closed two knights variations. This is a strategic position that can go very wrong for white. If the attack doesn't break through, we're going to lose because we have like the worst bishop in the history of chess. I mean, this is a serious issue, you know. All the other minor pieces, every other piece has potential, but the bishop on g2, it needs a miracle to like transfer out to f3, back to d1, and out to b3. This could totally decide the game. Alright, so continuing on, knight h5, bishop b5, b3. This reminds me of a game I lost to a 1400. This reminds me of the game I lost to the 1400 in the streamer battle on Sunday. I like how that guy came on the stream yesterday with his 2200 account and challenged me to play. Well, he's a 2200 who, like, I guess asked his little brother to lower his rating to 1400 so he would be underrated for the streamer battle or something. I'm not quite sure exactly the situation, but I clearly wasn't playing a 1400. I don't know. Bishop e5 is an okay move. You could just take here, I guess, but this f6 threat bothers me. So I don't see any reason why black has to panic. I like the exchange of bishop takes knight, by the way, you know. And he was worried about the threat of knight d6. He's definitely worried about that. Yeah, I think bishop e5 is okay. I don't know that it's the best move, but it's okay. A practical move. b3. Now he starts to get fancy. After bishop takes c4, black is slightly better, and white has a very bad bishop. But he felt it would be difficult to break through, and he's probably right. What's the evaluation? 0.9 plus 1 for black. You know? So black was kind of greedy and played bishop a6. I'm not sure. I guess he's going to try to play b5, but then what's up with his bishop with b5? Asterbait, thanks, man. Another 1,000 bits donated. I'm almost there to 250,000 sponsorship goal. But you laid the groundwork, you know, for my... When I get to $250,000, just for a joke, I should put that on the bottom of my stream. Sponsorship goal, $250,000. Asterbait, put down the $30, the first $30. He laid the first bricks of the foundation. So bishop a6, I mean, I don't know. You know, what are you trying to do? Play b5 and then your bishop's going to be blocked. It's kind of weird, but I guess it's still good. He's threatening Arsenal fans' plan of b5, knight c2. Now a3, knight c6, okay. But that's the problem now, it's kicked out. b5's coming. This is a good game, actually. It's not a bad game. It reminds me of the 1400. Are you sure you're not playing the same guy that beat me on Sunday? He's playing very similarly. C-file. He's got to find a way in. That's a great move. He's coming back. Wow. Yubatas just ignored him. He's defending d3. Playable. And now he's making progress, coming in here. Black has an entry, and it looks good. Rook takes. Oh, wait a minute. What just happened? So what about this? Knight b4. I mean, this is an issue, but it's attacking d3. You just plug it up with knight c4. Then he takes, and then you have a problem. Yeah, this is looking a little sketchy, but maybe, you know, you can like sack the exchange or something. Oh, you don't even need to sack the exchange, but whatever. I mean, okay, he's in there with his knight, but you're up a pawn. It's not that clear. It's still close. I don't know. It's not clear to me which is worse. I still think that black is better here. The computer has black only microscopically better. So he takes, and now this is a big problem. f6. I guess he just like lost the game in one move. Because now he has two hanging threats. f6 and rook takes a6. Damn. That's an issue. He basically just hung the game. It's absolutely tense position. The computer said simply bishop b5. And black is slightly better. But it's a good game. He blundered. He forgot there's a threat here. So he does this out of desperation. Yubatas just ignores him. There was a slight problem. Ooh. That's pretty devastating, actually. So your bishop's hanging. White's threatening mate in 1. If you play g6, we take... And you can't recapture because of f7 check. Oof. This is not good. So he grabs the exchange. capture, check. But where's the finishing touch here? Maybe our bad bishop. The little bad bishop that could. Yeah, this is kind of cute, you know. You also have rook a6 later on. And black can't play queen takes f6 because of bishop c4 check. And rook g8 fails to bishop c4 check, followed by bishop takes rook. That's terrible. And he just falls into it. Check. And then take the queen. A good defense. That was a good defensive game, Spectacular Camel. Move 11. I don't know. We can try. I'm not really checking the clock here. We're going to get to as many games as we can. For the subscribers. Just, guys, I want to put donation goal, $250,000. I wonder how many people will think I'm trolling. Alright, Princess Chess, Astrobait, Yabatis. WJ Loof is up. Yeah, good way to hang in there with no good bishop. See, that's what you get for playing bishop d2. This is why you want to keep your bishop on c1 so he doesn't trade it off, Yabatis. You don't understand. You don't respect the subtlety of my play. The whole problem is bishop d2. He trades off your bishop, see, and then you never have the devastating attack on the king's side. It's all very interrelated. Some people might not believe me. Alright. So WJ Loof up. I mean, sometimes it's forced, but you're white there with an extra tempo. I'm saying, I don't know that it's forced. You know, it's like the Steinitz Roy Lopez when black plays bishop d7 and white plays d5, Schieber-Spieler, someone like that. And they can trade off your white squared bishop. You no longer have the really fun King's Indian play. So this is WJ Loof. Missed 38, mate in 1 due to time trouble. 1500 now. Can't believe I'm still facing the Scholar's Mate. You're 21-16, 21-30 in tactics. Listen, guys, speaking of tactics, lichess posted something cool on the site today, and a lot of you probably know this stuff, but I wanted to recommend this site I saw. It's like a open source tactics site. Losing my mind. Recently bookmarked. Alright. So one of the sites that lichess recommended today, I saw, was Blitz Tactics. Let me check the domain. What was that? Blix. We got a lot of bling. Blix. Bling Tactics. It's kind of cool. Blitztactics.com. I'm surprised it's .com. They should have like a .org. No, blitztactics.com. Check it out. It looks like a cool site. So, Blitz Chess, WJ Loof is black. It's like a Puzzle Rush, but not supporting the evil chess site, you know? A non-evil chess site, Puzzle Rush. Kind of a cool idea. Alright. I mean, they steal things from lichess, so the world should steal stuff from them. Arenas. They stole arena tournaments from lichess. Disgusting. Anyway. So we got WJ Loof as black. E4, E5. Oh. The queen attack. But you can't blame just Hikaru. Bronstein puts this in 200 Open Games. It's like the first chapter in 200 Open Games. I guess we have to blame the great David Bronstein to some degree for including this clickbait in his groundbreaking book. Excellent book, 200 Open Games. If you like classical chess, I would highly recommend that's in your chess library. Alright, so what do we do? Knight c6, bishop c4, g6, queen f3. Yeah, I mean, it's not a good opening. You know, it's not like a secret. The only, like, I've never analyzed a game on my stream featuring this opening. Highly recommend 200 Open Games. Open Games. 200 Open Games. The open games, essentially, according to the old masters, are e45. Old school chess considers d4 to be the closed games. You're not opening the pieces as much. You're not opening the king. When you play e4, the board gets open for all this mobility, and the white king is exposed. So the traditional nomenclature is that e4 is open games and the d4 is the closed games. But I mean, that seems weird now because we know there's a lot of sharp positions that can arise. A lot of sharp positions that can arise in the Queen's Gambit, for example, that don't seem closed. But for the most part, it is more closed. And you can leave the center, you can leave the king in the center longer in the queen pawn games. But Bronstein uses the old sort of style of defining this as open games. Queen h5 here, this is all known. And then I wish like we didn't have to put our knight in front of our f pawn and our bishop. Yeah, now I remember, like, this is how they normally play with white. Knight e2, with the idea of white later plays h3 to secure his queen from getting attacked or something. Bishop g7, d3, maybe d6, and then h3, right? h3 stops any possibility of bishop g4. So this is CM versus Dominguez, and a couple of games by Year of the Rabbit. We've got what year was 2005, by the way? Was that the Year of the Rabbit? Any chance? Maybe that was Smallville. Okay. He was probably Smallville by then. Year of the Rabbit was like back to 90. The end of the millennium. That's how it would normally go. But it looks like your opponent has a different idea here. Knight c3. But that's a problem, right? Like, the idea of knight e2 is to deal with knight d4. Your opponent didn't deal with knight d4, so you dealt with him. Very good, you know. I like the fact that WJ Loof, like a lot of people, isn't playing on autopilot. That's a huge issue with a lot of you guys, especially the ones who are playing faster games. Acerbate. Yeah, I think so. Something like 7 years, I guess. I don't know. That was one of Hikaru's older ICC handle. It's a hard rabbit to break. Anyway, you guys pay me for the jokes. Knight d4. I'm surprised move 11 didn't get to that first. But good job by WJ Loof for not just playing on autopilot bishop g7. If you autopilot bishop g7, then knight e2, and you're back, into something normal again. Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. A lot of rabbits there. I don't know, move 11, you're losing your touch. But, no. Good job. Knight d4 kicks him back. He has to play queen d1. This looks very awkward. So it's a sick man who puts his queen on d3. So move 11 is on blitztactics.com. Check it out. It looks like a good tactics site. This is very, very strange. I mean, put the queen on d3 in the way of your own pawn on d2. White has already lost his opening advantage, but after queen d3, there could be problems. You know, now how is he going to develop his bishop? Not to mention the fact that his queen could be vulnerable in the future to things like knight e6, knight f4, knight c5. But I think the greater problem isn't his queen itself. The greater problem is the fact that White's just blocked his central pawn from moving. This is like Donald Trump style chess, basically, what we're looking at here. You know, this is Donald Trump not admitting that he made a mistake and doubling down. Now we're going to suspend the Constitution. You know, we can't just say, okay, I lost the election, we're going to go back to d1. We've got to, like, step on our own feet, play queen d3, get in the way of our d-pawn. Absolutely bad for White. So, queen d3, bishop g7, knight f3. Alright, now there's a problem, though. Our knight is attacked, our e5 pawn is attacked. Maybe you have something creative in mind here. The the tactics, what was it, blitztactics.com site has a lot of interesting features. Much different than the lichess tactics. It's got interesting stuff. This is kind of crazy. So I was thinking you could castle. Is that? This is probably going too far. I just wanted to look at it for a second. I'm not serious about this. I think he has knight takes e5. Yeah, no, it's not going to work. All right. So WJ Luft played well. It's sad, but he took on f3. See, the problem with taking on f3 is that you're correcting his queen. I want to punish White for having the queen on this ridiculous square. So, your move is okay. What happened? Knight f3. Oh, you castled, right. Oh, you didn't castle. I castled. I apologize. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like you have any other options. If you already castled, it would make sense. I was thinking, can we leave the knight on d4? But after something like d6, knight d4, pawn d4, no. So I guess you have no option here. The only option would be to come back. And this is not silly. It should be considered. Wow. Arsenal fan is what? Knight takes what? Wow. Knight takes e4. You're sick, man. I agree. Knight takes e4 should be considered and summarily rejected. Like Donald Trump's attempt to declare partial martial law or something. No, that's a cool idea, Arsenal. Suggest the idea, definitely. It looks like this is too much. Arsenal is a sick man. Maybe you got something here. f5. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It is interesting, though. I've got to admit, Arsenal. It's kind of tantalizing. It's a tantalizing move. Knight takes e4, d5. Bishop e5 check, c6. Yes, it's playable. It looks like it's actually playable. Let's check with the Oracle. Is knight takes e4 playable? Mr. Coffee, can we get a... Mr. Coffee, can we get a prediction bot on this? Oh, you already gave it away. No, that's artificial intelligence, says Castle's player. Sorry. No. Queen e4, f5, queen d5. Oh, it's good for white. Queen e4, f5. It's too late for prediction bot, sorry. So what's this? Yeah, sad. It's like the... It's... It's like the Frankula. The Dracula Frankenstein variation. Okay, knight e4 is fantastic, Arsenal fan. I agree it should be considered. How about something like knight c6? Also should be considered. So my instinct was right, castles. How does that work? Wow. My fantastic intuition. I couldn't have played it. I don't know how this works enough. I thought white has knight takes e5. That's extremely deep engine. And that's a good example of illustrating what I'm trying to do, but I don't claim that I ever would have been able to find this. You know, I would not have found this. It works because of what we're trying to do. You know, what we're trying to do is leave the queen trapped on d3. White's development is inhibited. He's tied down to c2. And then black says, okay, c5. I wouldn't have had the presence of mind to think of that, you know? I was looking like for something immediate, you know? And I'll stop saying you know, because I say it too much. Check this out. Arsenal fan. The Arsenal fan variation with knight takes e4. He now has his own variation. Modified Arsenal fan. Knight takes e4. Smashing white along the e file. That's a cool freaking idea. Anyway, this is a long point about a specific position in poor WJ Loop's game that didn't happen, but I wanted to make a point. You know, this is also an interesting attempt for black, exploiting the f4 hole and the position of queen e3, queen d3. The 4 hole. Alright. So I feel like knight f3, queen f3 kind of lets white off the hook. Now he's like equal, you know? He got away with murder. He's only, you know, he's already equal, which is an accomplishment with this opening. Probably c6 was a good move. Now what do we do? I don't really want to play g5 and weaken our king side. Who are you quoting, Arsenal fan? The Arsenal fan. The Arsenal fan Dracula. Ursula. I mean, d6 is okay. We can play d6. I feel kind of sad about this. We didn't get as much as I would like. Unless you have a trick with bishop g4, but you're not trapping his queen. Yeah, white got away with murder. Now his position is reasonable. I don't like his bishop on g3, but it's still not a hope is lost for that piece. This is crazy. He played b4. Thank you for playing b4. I can't thank you enough. I'd be like, thank you. That'd be funny. You like said that to your opponent during the game. Thank you for playing b4. I don't understand b4. I mean, it just looks weakening. I was even thinking like white might dare to try castling queenside in some positions. b4 just seems sort of weird and weakening. I can't imagine it's constructive for white. And b5, a5. There was a game that I lost in October. Oh, I didn't mention this, guys. Schieberspieler, really sad thing. You know, the organizer of of the tournaments I played in, Rigo Janos died a couple days ago. It's just sad. I was shocked to read that today. Organizer of the tournaments that I played in January and October, International Master and organizer Janos Rigo passed away. I don't know the circumstances of his death. I mean, he wasn't young. He was like in his early 70s, but he was active and didn't have any obvious, health issues that I knew about. But who knows? Just wanted to mention that, while we're here. He was a friend of mine and a former teammate, so really sad day for Hungarian chess. He has a young daughter and a wife, and I'm sure it's a difficult time. So what I was going to say was my Kosterlovich game, exactly, where the b5, a5 happened. Yeah, the pawn lever. This is really strong, man. Nice job by W.J. Loof. That's a sort of nice positional idea. Immediately exploiting this b4. And white is like lost. Isn't white just lost in one move after a5? White doesn't have a move. There's no move. If you take queen a5, what is he going to do? Play king d2? He has to play takes and king d2 not to lose material? That's crazy, right? You can't do this. Clearly this is over. There has to be nearly winning position for black here. I don't know if move 11 would try this with white. He tried king d2 against me recently in a not so similar position. Yeah, it looks really bad. a5, nice job. Oh, that's funny. So he played my a4, and white's just completely kaplooey now. That's his best solution. So it is really similar to my game with Kosterlovich, just worse. It looks like white's losing a piece now. Or is he? Is this the right move, or does he have knight takes? It's getting a little complicated in here. Queen a5 is not going to work. It's tempting to take on b3 and try to queen your pawn. This is sensible. Oh no. Okay, I lost my balance here. I mean, of course you're not going to see everything. You've got to play AB4, and then I would be thoughtful at this point. You're not obliged to take on A4. I just want to point this out, that objectively, I would say like after C5, pawn takes here, Queen A5, just for argument's sake, castles, Queen takes B5, objectively, you're probably winning with an extra, like a clear extra pawn. Just to point this out, I think like you can consider it. If the other lines don't work, you have that to fall back on. So you'd have to calculate this all the way to be sure that it works or not. I'm also looking at this, but I don't see anything. You got to calculate this, maybe sacking a rook on A8 for something dynamic like Queen B6. It's possible like the pawn can't be stopped, the unstoppable. Like what happens after C3, C5? Knight D5, Knight D5, Pawn D5, B2. Nice knowing you. This actually looks pretty strong. There's a lot of stuff here that you could do. So I would work it out concretely before I decided on that move, although you've got a limited amount of time. Basically, you played a really good game. I mean, it's hard to calculate everything. I wasn't sure about this. Let's see what the Oracle says. Bishop G4, yet another move. So we don't miss the obvious. You had just bishop g4. Defending a rook. Computer, thank you for pointing that out. I'm sure somebody mentioned it. I just didn't. I didn't stop to read all the chat. This just wins immediately. I bet my move works too. Your move works too. How about takes? So everything wins. Yeah, everything wins. Takes, your move, bishop g4, it all wins. Are we still winning? We're still winning after c3, c5. So you're gonna like chase his knight away and then sack on a4 and check down here? Doesn't work. Queen b2, you're just no. You got e4. Damn it. Every time I think we have something, we don't. It doesn't seem to work. We gotta finish him off here. Queen b2 castles, he's getting away. e4, he takes. Rook takes a4. Queen d1 at the end. Bishop takes d5. I don't see it. Where's the forced win? Got all kinds of fun variations. Taking here, here, queen b3. Then like bishop takes d5. But it's definitely not easy to put him away. So let's see what happened. I gotta move on, guys. So we got a lot of games. You played in a complicated position. c3, c5, knight d5. That's probably forced. Takes, takes. Now what? And he got away. So you extracted the minimum. It looks like you missed and you got away. You still have a good game. You're threatening f4. But you could have been more decisive. So it looks like white has to play h3 or something to just not have his bishop get trapped, right? h3, the good old h3, bishop h2. Happy moment. I'm not sure if you want to play f4. It's not really necessary. You should just maybe grab this pawn or something. I'm not certain. Lots of possibilities here. What was the game? h3? You took. Plays rook c1. Oh no. Oh no, you've got rook takes a4. Tactics master? Nice. So he's doing his tactics. Back rank. Goodbye. Then he just lost the rook. Nice. That's pretty decisive. The good old back rank. And then you were merciless. See here, I was explaining something similar to Astrobate earlier today. I would play queen takes d5 because there's like zero chance of messing this up. You're forcing a trade of queens with a mate on g2. If you play bishop takes d5, there's still like a 0.0017 chance like you could get stalemated or blunder mate with the queens on the board. You know, I think you definitely want to trade queens and force the trade of queens. Even if you're up a rook and a piece. Just keep that policy in place. Like you'll save yourself a point here and there along the way in blunders. Blitz tactics are addictive. Yeah, so you're kind of fishing around now. And you could lose on time, for example, very easily. Because his queen's on the board. It's over. You missed mate in one there. Down to 47 seconds. Second time's a charm. No. You wanted that queen. You didn't see this. This was a blind spot. The f4 was a blind spot. Third time's a charm. Tricked you. Bishop d1. I don't know, he might as well take his chances and take it, I would say, at this point, and just gamble that you're not going to see queen f4. I would definitely take my chances with queen takes d1 now. Arsenal, take care. Now you saw it. On the 4th try. Seriously, thanks WJ Loof. But not to take away from your achievement, I thought the game was very good on several levels. The positional play with the pawns on the queen side, you had a nice tactic with rook a4, and the opening was well played. I think you were probably just nervous here on time pressure. Alright, next game, Someone on Sound. Move 11. Move 11's in. We got Someone on Sound, Berserker, and Move 11. Whew, alright. I need some air. So, welcome everybody to the stream. We're going to be back tomorrow morning with Blitz and Blitz. Blitz and Blitz. You're embarrassed about this game. I always put my most embarrassing games. I like to explore my most embarrassing games. Okay, Someone on Sound, Black. Publicly shaming yourself. Wow. You guys made a lot of errors. I don't like to see the stats first, though. Actually, I looked at a game like this with Astrobait earlier today. So, I played this against Someone on Sound too, I think, with c3. I mean, c3 is the one move that poses Black some problems here. See, the problem with like the c3, Someone on Sound, we had this game, right? You played d6 against me, which I like. White doesn't do c3. Well, Sladgie streams some blitz tactics. I would be willing to do that, not today. I got like a 35. I tried to do a blitz tactics. I did 35 puzzles or something. I'm not Ray Robson on the puzzles, quite. Bishop g7. I'm pretty good, though. Not bad. I'm bad at clicking the mouse, as usual. My weakness is mouse clicking. C3 is mandatory, in my opinion. I hurt my leg again. I gotta move. GL Gutlow. Do I like endgame puzzles? Sure. Definitely. I mean, I've never been a huge puzzle guy. I never spent that much of my chess career doing tactics puzzles or any kind of puzzles or studies or endgame studies. I've done some, you know, but I'm not a specialist. Yeah, I'd love you to share it sometime. If you have something interesting, you could send it to my account here on lichess, Sparkle Horse. I assume you're on lichess. You have something, an interesting study or something you want to share anytime, feel free to share with my account. So, anyways, White didn't play c3, but if you don't play c3, I think you're making a serious mistake. Now you just have this like lame Bodler. So knight c6 suddenly becomes a playable move, for example, whereas normally it's not that great. Now we have time to play knight c6 without getting rolled with I still don't know if it's the best move though. It looks like d6 is considered better by the stats. e6 is a move. He plays c3 now, and you went full Astrobait. I was just talking to Astrobait today, Someone on Sound. He likes to throw in a6 when he doesn't know what to do. That's his default randomizer. Yeah, a6 doesn't seem appropriate here. It just doesn't seem appropriate here. Fortuna Chess Coach. Astrobait is here. He just donated 1,000 bits, in fact. How would you guess? How did you guess? Fortuna Chess Coach saying thanks for joining. Astrobait donated another 1,000 bits. We're on the way, 250,000 K. The bit meter is at $40. Actually, WJ Live donated 500 bits earlier, so we have 4,500 bits. So how many do we need? We only need 2.5 million. Is that right? Do I need 2.5 million bits? I don't know, I forget. A6, but thanks, man, I appreciate it. Did you guys hear about the South African Powerball? Seriously? 25 million bits. To unlock my Grandmaster title. There was a South African Powerball where the winning numbers were 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and the bonus number was 10. Like, seriously, how likely is that? What do you guys think? There are all these people who think it was a scam. 25 million. Someone on sound is a pure mathematician. Take care, WJ Loof. I get the money and the title. It practically unlocks automatically. I don't have to work for a couple years, and I'll make it. That's the plan. It's just a theory. So A6, I don't like it. You played like Amanda. No, we need to get out of here. So we have several different plans. If we play E6, I think we're back into normal land where we haven't played D5 fast enough. Maybe we do though. This is probably okay. Take anytime you see a Guseynov game, that's a good sign. Because he's one of the top experts in Accelerated Dragon. There's more than one Guseynov, I think, but Gadir. This guy Gadir. So CD is, E6 is okay, D6 probably transposes to the game. You know, it's funny that you played that game against me. Why wouldn't you play the same way? You would transpose to your game with me, I guess. After D4, CD4, Knight F6. I was looking at this today. There's even Knight C3. What was I looking at? It's been a different position. Castle. Oh. What was I looking at? Was it H3, Knight takes E4? Something like that. But it's strange for me, someone on sound, since you played that way against me previously, you'd think you would like that D6 type of setup. You can play D6, E6. I guess Knight F6 is no good. Is it? Knight F6 is no good. Here, this position, we have D6, E6, and if Knight F6, yeah, it's no good. Looks like a problem. I don't think this is going to work because of E5. I showed Astrobait a similar game I played in 2007, but the tempos are wrong. I played like Knight G4. Funny that someone played King Crusher style here with Bishop takes F7 check. I don't know that that's best, but D4 is good for white, it looks like. Artemiev Grishuk. Grishuk, I don't know what he was thinking. So A6 experimental move. Yeah, now you're screwed, basically. You're just screwed immediately. You're just worse. Classic C3 Sicilian, knight on C6. And now all you can do is try to muddy the waters. I mean, it seems like you ought to take on D4. Classic center. But seriously, someone on sound, I understand this like gives him a square for his knight on C3, but I mean, you're kind of close to a Jim. You're close to like what Jim did in one game. You might be able to get away with like D6 yet. Still playing it. It looks like a really bad Mora Gambit where you're not up a pawn or something like that, but Queen B3 maybe? Knight like E6? It's creepy, but it may not be that bad. I can't believe this happened in a real game. What was this guy thinking? A 2356. You're playing like a 2356, someone on sound. Not bad. You're higher rated than me, I'm sorry to say. White played bishop b3. It's a little difficult to understand why white wouldn't play bishop d5 here, right? But he just didn't have enough faith. I'm pretty sure this is probably the right idea. Because we're threatening to take on d5 on c5. So you have no time for bishop b7. You would have to take. You of all people who plays the Smith-Morra, I mean, you think you'd like this. The truth is, it may not be that bad. Is that what you're telling me? Like, takes, you're still okay here? You just calmly play like knight f6 at a later date or something? I don't know. I'm curious what the oracle is going to say. I think it's bishop d5. Doesn't like it. It's not buying it. It doesn't buy it. Damn. The oracle doesn't like it. It's going along with my analysis. It says black can actually play knight f6 right away. This is still better for white, though. Alright, b5, bishop e2. Oh. Dude, did you do this to troll yourself to show me this game? You didn't play that. I mean, man, from a perspective of like a St. George defense player, I'm offended by this move. I played a lot of St. George's. I mean, this isn't that bad by the St. George defense standard. You got to take on d4. You're real close to a gym sort of setup. If you're able to play like bishop e7, knight f6, and castles, you have a reasonable position. The problem is this timing of these central advances for white. You know, he can hit you with one of these decisively. He'll have a good game. I'm going to turn off the engine now because I'm not Maurice Ashley. Just kidding, Maurice. We're just kidding, man. A lot of people gave Maurice a lot of crap about using engines too much. It's hard, it's easy to get like kind of hooked on that. But seriously, GL Gutau, I don't know if we're gonna get to better to send them. Yeah, better to send them on my lichess because I don't have time to go over it now. I'll have to get back to you on it at a different time. And game studies require like serious thought. Or you can even email me at videochesstrainer@gmail.com. But I can't deal with it right this minute. I would be happy to take a look. But this is a really weird move by someone on sound. I mean, you're violating the most fundamental of important principles, taking pressure off the center. And then white like turns around and plays e5, which is weird too. I mean, e5 looks wrong. So white can break your queen side with b3 or a4, or just enjoy his central pawns and develop. I mean, b3, I guess, is the most obvious try. This is a little scary, though, that diagonal. I still don't really believe in black's position. Looks like white's clearly better. Okay, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. This is a bad move, though. e5 looks sort of stupid. You can destroy it. There's the Iggy Pop song, Seek and Destroy, or whatever. d6. When you see a pawn like this that's messing with your airspace, you have to destroy it. You know, I mean, I think this is very fundamental. You could also play f6, but that looks a little bit looks a little risky. I know you like to do that. Some other positions. I think you need to destroy that space there that he's grabbed with e5. You have a lot of holes after e6. Right, there goes the c4 pawn. Ugh, he took with the queen. Why would he take with the queen? What is he doing? Why with your queen, man? Good God, man. What is the queen doing on b3 other than like being a target for knight a5? Of course you take with the pawn, you open your rook, you're threatening bishop takes b5. Black plays bishop b7. You can play bishop a3. Good luck with that. Enjoy the diagonal. Enjoy your wing gambit or whatever it is. He took with the queen. This is a terrible move. Okay, a4 is a good move, actually. That is a good move. Maybe that's his idea. I didn't understand the idea with queen b3. I guess a4. Okay, thanks GLG. I'll get back to you on the study front. So this is the only upside of queen b3. He's got a4. Summon and Sound making an educated sacrifice now. We're out of there. Down the pawn. Like, if you're playing a computer, you're dead. But this is a human. He's trying to get in to the decisive weakness on d6. I don't know, man. This is an ugly game. How did you come up with this one? That's kind of crazy, honestly. It seems crazy to me. I wouldn't consider bishop h6. It seems a little crazy. That's a defender of your king side and the guardian of the dark squares. I don't think you're doing the right thing by trading it. Potentially. Jim, what's up? Jim's here. I'd like to see a match between Jim and someone on Sound. In the Smith Mora. And Hyper Accelerated. But it's cool to put a game where you played badly. Yeah, I agree. Like, most people only submit their good games. And it's, like, skewed. It's absolutely right. Yeah, bishop h6 was bad. I mean, you've already got weaknesses on the king side. I think that's the plan that white should be trying to execute himself. How can I trade off black's dark square bishop? So you sort of helped him there. Yeah, that's crushing. Knight d6. And then white sort of hesitated. You're actually not threatening anything in this position. Maybe rook b8, but that's not really a threat. I mean, at the end of the day, you're only down a pawn with a strong outposted knight on d6. And there's f7 to worry about. I think he's headed for d2 and into h6. And we're going to see a rehash of Princess Chess versus Marlon Brando. I guess you would try to patch the holes with King G7. I mean, you gotta be kidding me. H3? If anything, maybe H4. This is also a threat. He has 4 minutes here. Why not Queen D2? Isn't that the whole point? Come down here? This is like... And taking away your ability to play knight f4? I mean, h3 is terrible. Queen d3 at least gets the queen on track to come down on the dark squares. Now if I push my h-pawn, it's going to be like 2 squares with h4. Try to open it up. But, I mean, you could play knight f4, right? You're going to take out his white square bishop. That might not be a bad idea. Your knight's like invulnerable. I mean, it's vulnerable to c4 anyway. Of course. So you take out his white square bishop. Now you're making progress. You're taking out pieces. It's 6 against 5 on the one side. It's kind of funny ending. Standard 6 against 5 rook ending. Everybody knows that's a draw. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, you know, he doesn't have a passed pawn, so there's no guarantee his extra pawn will be like winning in an endgame. And your white square bishop has some potential now. He has no way to attack your f7 again. There it is. Subtle threat. Masturbate says queen d5. Does he have some sort of 6 sacrifice here? No. But this doesn't look good. Now you have a double threat. King g7. Oof, he's got knight e8 as well. Oh, this isn't good. Now he plays h4. Is knight e8 winning? Knight e8 stronger. h4, not as good. You're just threatening rook b2. And now you can't protect f7. But yes, you have rook b2. If rook b2, what's up with rook b2? How does he protect his g2? Here. He'll have to retreat his queen, right? Knight e8 check? What? I don't understand. Knight e8 check? Oh, you're just losing. Wow, that's crazy. And then here. Oh. So it doesn't work. I couldn't see that. It's been a long day. Yeah, you guys are right. It's mate. It's weird looking at it from black's side. I didn't see the threats as clearly. If I was white, I probably would have seen it. So you took it out. And he missed some sort of forced mate. Weird. But totally something I would do. So now if he plays pawn takes, you've got rook b2. For example. That's funny though. Like seriously, what happens if pawn takes? Because rook b2, rook f1. You can even give this up. White could give this up. I guess it's still not that clear. It's not that simple. Yeah, this isn't good. He can't give you that. So he has a forced mating sequence. Queen check followed by knight e8. If here, what's up with king f8? Mate in 2. Why am I not seeing this obvious mate in 2? I should not do the tactics puzzles today. I can't see threats for the enemy for some reason. Tactics puzzles don't involve defending, you know, that's the problem. You're always seeing the tactics puzzles from your side. Try doing tactics puzzles like reversed, from the other player's side. It's a lot harder. I can't see one move threats. Anyway, it's been a long day. I appreciate you guys bearing with me. I guess someone on sound was pretty much toast. Got the draw. Nailed it down. In a lost position. Got respect draw. He obviously respected you. He has 3 minutes left and gave him a draw. He was in 1900. Yeah, why is this a draw? I mean, it doesn't look like that serious, does it? So rook f2, queen e1, king h2. Like, what are you doing? You're gonna mate him? Like, how's he gonna mate you here? I don't get it. You know, like the only way in is down here, and you're just coming up to g3. So there's no way he can like really have to worry about anything. Right. Right. I mean, it's natural to be afraid if you have like 30 seconds, but he had like 3 minutes. You would think he would at least think it through a little bit. All right. That was ugly, man. So we got 2 more games left from Move 11 and Berserker. SPF Gutau. All right. We'll get back to you. I'll make a note about that. SFPG, sorry. Sounds familiar. So now we got 2 last games from one of our founders. Move 11. Berserker's first. We'll save the founder for last. Berserker has a game here. Berserker, oh, who's this guy? I think Schieberspieler is Magnus Carlsen. I said I wouldn't say it. I can't believe I did it. Damn it. I can't go one day without saying it. Damn it. Alright. I failed. Berserker's white. What is this time control? 5+3 casual blitz. Oh, man. Yeah, that hurts. The semi-Tarash. I feel your pain, Berserker. So, yeah, it's kind of messed up. This position's a funny position. Like, white only has 2 moves. That's hard to believe. That's actually mind-boggling. White only has 2 moves that are even decent in this position. That's kind of crazy, actually. Even bishop g5 is bad. I think even bishop g5 is probably clearly bad. There was a crazy game where Pillsbury tried to castle queenside in a queen's gambit or something. Where he did like cd4, queen d4, knight c6, queen h4 or something. This is the game. I actually did a video on this. I think on my YouTube channel. It was Harry Nelson Pillsbury who first played this position. Yeah, I mean, it's mental. And he tried to castle queenside, which is totally nuts. There's basically no options. Your only options are e3 or cd5. What about... Yeah, g3 is cd5 again, cd4 again, knight d4, and e5. There's no other move. It's sort of shocking that white has like literally only 2 options. Option A or option B? So, I prefer option A. That gives us more future options. If we play CD, we can opt for a kingside development with c3. Unfortunately, Schieberspieler will play the insipid knight takes d5. Schieberspieler said he was once winning in 8 moves after bishop g5. Obviously, you weren't playing the late Harry Nelson Pillsbury. He would have put up a better fight. But, again, here you have at least options. You can choose to play either g3, e3, or e4. I like having options. Options are good. So we played instead e3. This is more passive than CD. Rubinstein has a lot of games with both colors. I highly recommend studying Rubinstein's games. He played these positions with both colors. Like 100 years ago, this semi-Tarash was very popular in the early part of the 1900s. D4 really started to develop more and more popularity. So they were exploring new openings more, and there are some amazing games. but it's not easy to play. So e3, and then Schieber takes. So he's actually transposing to Queen's Gambit accepted. This is the idea. One of the ideas. The idea is that in the Queen's Gambit accepted, White's knight is not that well placed on c3. It shouldn't come out to c3 so early. Does bishop f4 work by any chance? It looks to be like a move, Jim. This is a move played by Liviu Dieter Nispianu. Not a bad player. Tranquilizer's buddy from Romania. Brasov, Romanian German. So yeah, that looks to be better than, it's probably better than bishop g5 actually. It's looking like a Marshall defense though. This is basically a Marshall defense reversed. It's not promising. I mean, it's probably like White can equalize. I imagine White can maybe equalize here with good play, Jim. Schieber is giving away all of his preparation. Yeah, knight takes d4, knight d7 is a reverse Marshall. Knight d2 against the Marshall. You're not going to beat Schieber here too easily. Anyways, e3 he takes, going to Queen's Gambit, takes. Now a6. And personally, I've played a4. I mean, in my opinion, a4 seems like the best practical try if you're gonna play this. The statistics seem to like bishop d3 or bishop b3. I don't know much about it. This is a normal idea with the knight back on b1. But a very experimental one here. Shinkovic Peter, 1991. Hungarian IM. Then on bd7. You're following Shinkovic Crouch. Battle of the old IMs. Castles, bishop b7, and now rook d1. So we've transposed. So I feel like Schieber may have missed something. It looks like Schieber should have better somehow to punish White's inaccurate move order. No? I guess not. There's nothing better. You don't have anything better than transposing into theory? I mean, I understand it's like not a great line. You would think like Black could have even better somehow. b5, the computer agrees. Funny, there's only 3 games where this exact move order was played. Even the engine wants to play knight on bd7. Okay, I don't know the theory. I'm surprised that he can get away with this move order and transpose back into known lines. You'd think Black would have something even better. So rook d1, now there's like a million games, but check the score. Look at the score. 37% for Black, 31% for Black, 35% for Black. Look at those scores, that's ridiculous. 35 to 20 for Black, 31 to 27, 35 to 17. Black's just annihilating White in this line. Oof. That's not good. If you study the openings on the Opening Explorer, and that's what it's showing you, you better start playing something else with white, because this is a very bad sign. Sometimes it's like just weaker players are playing white. Like if you play a bad opening like this, the SMG, but the Queen's Gambit, I mean, I guess I get it, you know? Like, Schieberspieler, and I agree, like, knight c3 is not a critical line. So what's the moral of the story? The Grandmaster is playing white. No, this is not considered a critical line. So mostly weaker masters are playing this. It looks like maybe white's okay, but strong Grandmasters and strong IMs probably don't play this line for white. Therefore, these games are like more strong players playing black, I guess. And that's why the statistics are so favorable for black. I remember there's a line with d5, right? I mean, isn't there like d5? Yeah. So he's supposed to play d5 now. I did a little bit of study for the Queen's Gambit from black's perspective a long time ago. I toyed around with the idea of playing it as black. So I remember I have a book that I studied some lines. And this, I remember something of these basic ideas here. Though I don't know. You know and I don't know. Schieberspieler, that is. Elvest Ivanchuk, 1995. Adalik Topalov, 2001. But both are players who are like 100 points or more lower, losing with white. Black has the queenside majority, white has the kingside majority. The general plan is for white to like push this e-pawn and try to use the central position. How bad is it? Computer is claiming this is slightly better for white. Is there a better line for you, though? Maybe you have c4. That line seemed to have the best line. It's very similar to like the semi-Slav structure. I would have guessed this was a semi-Slav, not a semi-Tarash, if I saw this position. This seems to be best. It's okay for black, but this looks more dynamic. Aronian. Again, the stronger player playing black. Istrachescu versus Aronian. But that was 2004. Schieberspieler will check his notes. So instead we have bishop c2, kind of a rare move. It looks slow. To play this move unprovoked. It was played by Navarra and Kojal, but and Vlad, my blackjack buddy. But it seems strange to move the bishop unprovoked. Navarra has a lot of theoretical knowledge, but this is a very old game. Now d5. That's weird. Are you serious? So you're going to do some sort of crazy e4? So your analysis ends with bishop e7. Stockfish claims it's not equal, and that white has a .2 advantage. Schieberspieler, but it maybe like disappears after another move or something. I don't know. I would at least double check it. But it looks like the c4 is better. If you're trying to win. So Berserker went crazy here. But he's still in Navarra theory. Wow. Wow, so bishop d6 looks natural. What else can black play? He doesn't want to play cd. Open up your queen here with threats of d5. This is interesting. So after bishop d6 you could have played d takes c5. And what if knight takes c5? Can someone explain to me what happens after knight takes c5? Knight takes c5, e4. Damn. And now you're threatening to win a piece with e5. Very sharp position with immense tactics. Computer was analyzing e4, b4. It's like an open Sicilian. Rook takes d6. The Navarro would like that. So basically, black played perfectly and white blundered with d5. So you have to play d takes c. Navarro played what, h3? No, did he play d takes c5? He did this. And black played the correct bishop takes c5. Now h3. Castles. And this is Navarro Haberle, some sort of Czech championship 2006 or something. e4. It looks like a normal kind of position. Wróblewski also with the game with black, but an old one. So black has to take with the bishop on c5. I don't know. It doesn't seem like white has much. What else can you do? So Berserker went crazy with d5. Black takes. I was wondering what happens if Schieberspieler takes with the pawn. Now you've got e4. This is what I was thinking. I thought that maybe, you know, Berserker had some kind of crazy Levon Aronian style Catalan breakthrough along the e-file ready here, but it doesn't look like it works. And Schieber didn't want any part in it, so he just played the safer move, take with the knight. The fun killing move. Taking with the e-pawn was much more fun. This is boring. Now black is like trading pieces and he's up a pawn. Of course he takes with the bishop, like the safer move again. Keeping his bishop open and not making any pawn moves, any unnecessary pawn moves. Wow. This is the after mate in one blunder game? Okay, this is after the game with... This was after the game with Morales? Where he blundered mate in one. You must have been inspired by the idea of f6, Schieberspieler. That was Morales' mate move. It's funny that his move that was made in one was like a mistake for you. Ben Feingold says never play f6. I don't agree with him though. So you could have just castled and you're fine. It's funny that the bishop on g5 actually gets in the way of his knight if he ever wants to do any kingside attack. So he just sort of scared you into making a mistake. f6. And Schieberspieler wasn't tempted to go into this weird endgame. Basically, white's just down a pawn. White is objectively losing on the queen side. This was a good breakthrough, though. I mean, at least he gets his knight to an active square where he's double threatening, and suddenly white has play. But it doesn't look like it's that easy. I mean, Schieberspieler did it to himself by weakening at e6, and Berserker did a good job finding knight d4, giving up h2 to break through with counterplay. And now it's very unclear. I'm surprised that Schieber didn't try to grab this pawn, but I guess it's more dangerous than I thought. Wow. I thought you could grab this. Is it f4 is the problem? I was afraid of f4 threat. I guess f4. Okay. I know f8 is hanging, but I'm saying like rook f7, f4. Because I don't like g3. I mean, g3 looks bad. If that's the point, then we're good. You know, I would do bishop h2. I didn't see how strong f4 was. It's a big problem. So h2 is not takeable. Now he gets your bishop, and now suddenly it's a new game. Schieberspieler facing the bishop pair, and white has his kingside majority back. So it's a game. Very unclear. Queenside majority, Strong bishop, but strong kingside majority for white and control of the open file. So, white is certainly not worse now. This is a rock. Wow. Queen b8, average players perform 2479 as black. They're up 20 points. They're gaining rating points just by playing that opening. Man, rook a3. So I'm surprised white doesn't exchange here. I don't know. I'm creeped out by leaving the tension here. I think white should take and take on a8. I'm afraid our rook is going to get hit by b4 at some point here, Berserker. I don't want that to happen. You definitely shouldn't let him play b4 after rook a3. He should have played b4. I was surprised white doesn't play ab now. Looks good. Severe time pressure. Yeah, he's 14 seconds. Both sides. And time pressure. Rook a3 didn't work out. And then Schieberspieler bails out with knight d4. We give up our bishop pair, and it's close. Objectively, this is probably a draw. But there are chances for both sides. It's imbalanced. Now the king is far from the center. And black's queenside majority is a problem. It's amazing the white pieces have no way in. Now you have a way in? Is that the point? Queen d7? Golden opportunity? You missed it. It's ugly. I mean, your rook is going to be hanging. But there are mate threats on e8 if the black queen goes anywhere. I also lost my first round of the last tournament because of rook a7. I feel for you. Against Mendonca, I was tempted to put my rook on a7. Rook d2, rook a8 is just desperation. It doesn't work. Alright, last game. Thanks, guys. Schieberspieler, thanks for the running analysis. Last game is move 11. I've got to go. Move 11. If there's time left today, I'd like to look at a 5+3 game. Alright. Last game, guys. We're going to be back tomorrow. Tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Central European time. This is move 11. The mighty move 11 playing white against Sock Chess. Why is my opening explorer so big? Thanks for being here, JCS. It's awesome having two moderators in the house. So we learned a little bit about that Queen's Gambit. I know that it's not supposed to be anything for white. With early knight c3. That's a move order problem. And now we know Schieberspieler's secret weapon, Queen's Gambit accepted. Maybe once I had a game with Schieberspieler in that. Move 11 playing bishop c4 and d3. This is a good way to avoid the Berlin defense. The easiest way to avoid the Berlin defense is not to play the Roy Lopez. Yeah, I hate to get those positions. Sometimes I play a bad move order and end up playing those with white. I would have played a4, but I don't have any faith in that line. I don't think that a4 Queen's Gambit accepted is anything great for white. I don't like weakening the b4 square. So now bishop c5, c3, castles. Arsenal fan had a game with me in the Joko Piano the other day. Arsenal, you found an interesting idea. Arsenal played castles. I played castles. How did it go? Do you remember? Castle, castle, d6, and I didn't play d4. What did I play? Arsenal might have left, but I guess I played bishop e3. I guess he played h6. Was that it? I can't remember now. We had something like this. No, d5. Actually, move 11, you looked at those lines. I think I'm getting the move order wrong. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Back to the game in question here. Bishop c5, c3, castles, and now a4. So this is a modern idea. I remember doing a video on Chess Lecture a few years ago, site that I work for, where Caruana played a4. I mean, it's a totally new concept that wouldn't have existed years ago. White always plays other moves. Sometimes maybe b4 first, and in the future a4. But a4 is basically kind of a new idea. And I guess I've seen a5 in response. There's Karyak and Anand. a6 is like classical response. What does he do? Okay, so we follow heavy-duty games here. But again, all this a4 stuff is relatively modern. ed5, knight d5, castles. It's funny that like a5 is a move. It looks... I probably like saw this game at the time, Caruana Kramnik, but I've forgotten now. It looks so time-consuming to play a5. I can't believe it, you know. Also, here's Hare Krishna Seth Arman, which looks familiar to me. By the way, like Hare Krishna is one of the better players with the Joko with white. He has some interesting ideas with h3 sometimes. But this is unbelievable that white can play a5. Castles, and now we've got a lot of games. Bishop g4. So there's no good players playing black here. I mean, excuse me, Ruslan Sherbakov, but he's a little bit out of date. He's stronger than me, but it's not like a top modern player. I always criticize bishop g4 in general because it's like, it's a bluff. You don't really you can never trade off your white square bishop. We had a game similar to this this past week with like h3, bishop h5. I had a game where I got absolutely destroyed by someone on the stream with g4, bishop g6 in a similar line. But I would never do that unless I was taking their pawn on e5. White has not played rook e1 here. f2 is secure. Yeah, so this is a rare move. Certainly a move that you would expect to encounter. I think that h3 is good, though. Like, you force the bishop to declare where it's going to go. It pretty much has to go to h5. Now the question is, what do we do next? The Vinici played b4. I mean, personally, I don't advocate a4, so I don't know. I never really looked at this much. The whole concept of a4 seems slow. Well, let's see what Nevenici did. b4. I mean, think about it logically, right? After a4, Castle's black's main move is either a6 or a5. Everybody made a square for that bishop to go to, except for your opponent. He plays bishop g4. Now what happened? You should play h3, and then what? b4? I mean, this is a very committal plan. Can black play knight takes c4, I guess? Leaves a piece hanging. So this is forced. Nevnici took here. Black took. And then he played d takes c. Bishop e1, cd5, bishop e4, c4, bishop d6, queen d4, f4, f5. Wow. It looks like Black survived by the skin of his teeth. It's unbelievable. How did Black survive this? It's unbelievable. He's so close to death. Nevnici just played too fast. c5. Guy took. He just took the pawn. What was this? Unbelievable. So he's better. After f5, bishop e2. It's still scary, though. Cheers, Astromate. We'll see you on Friday. Guys, sorry. I'm going to finish up this game with move 11. But I don't mind. For some reason, the opening explorer is like overextended. Okay, move 11 played this developing move. I still think you should play h3. You know, it can't hurt to play h3. Knight on bd2. And now your d3 pawn is hanging. Why does this feel so familiar to me? You've got an idea against this with bishop e1. And now you're threatening bishop h7. So what if queen d8? He just played bishop f3. What if queen d8? Do we have something here? Astrobait mate? The Astromate. I mean, besides the Astromate, do we have something here? We're down a pawn. We have like b4, a5, threats against h7, cheapos with queen c2. We are missing a central pawn. But I don't know. Like b4. That doesn't seem that constructive. I'm not sure if we have enough compensation. Computer was playing for the Astromate there at first. It likes that line. It's interesting though, like the engine gives you full credit. You have full credit. Total compensation. That's pretty amazing. And black is up a central pawn. Alright, so he plays this. And you took with the pawn. This is a tremendous move. I guarantee you black missed this. You know. He probably did not consider g takes f. His basic analysis was that move 11 will either take with the knight or the queen or play bishop takes d3, and in all cases the queens come off the board. This is the one move that doesn't trade queens. It really doesn't matter that much, you know, from the defensive standpoint as far as the endgame goes. I mean, 3 pawns against 4 pawns. We're already down a pawn on the king side. But I don't know, objectively, maybe move 11, maybe you should allow him to trade queens. I still think you have compensation. The question is how much. The question is always how much. I mean, just hypothetically, right? That's very dangerous if he tries to open up on the white squares. You know, It's not easy for black. It looks kind of sketchy. I don't know. Knight f3. a5 and black is clearly better. Doesn't think you have compensation. Interesting. Did anybody else have an idea about which way to play this? We're burning our bridges behind us with g takes f, or something else. Hey, maybe you have a simple move like you have some other move like queen e1. Let's expand our minds a little bit here. Queen e1, queen e2, knight f3. Pretty much the same position. It's a tiny bit better though, because like in this line we have more pressure on e5, and now we're still losing objectively. You have some ideas like a4, a5, a6, bishop e4, skewering that diagonal. I would think in a practical game, white has good chances, you know, to save it. But move 11 keeps the queens on. Queen d7. The point was to not trade queens. So what does he do? Trades queens. Maybe the point wasn't just not to trade queens, though. This is kind of cool. He gets knight e4. The pawn on f3 helps control the center. You gotta be kidding me. I mean, this guy doesn't trade queens. You're up a pawn and you're not trading queens here? I guess he saw something like this, and you've got stuff. It does look like you have counterplay. Pretty serious counterplay. So he played this. He's thinking of attacking you. But it's going to be almost impossible to checkmate white with no white square bishop. So Joseph Henry Blackburn with white pieces now. a5, knight c8. The Astor mate. I'm seeing too much of this. I think it's spreading. Astor, but you had a very bad influence on the stream. And we'd love knight g5, I guess, but it doesn't really threaten anything. So that's nice to see more weaknesses around the black king side. Our knight is bad. Move 11 has this thing for rook a4 lateral things when he's playing the open games. Queen e7. He's not much for the subtleties of pawn structure. So now black just like loses the exchange. That's an issue. So I think at this point black has to find a way to hold on to that material. Clearly rook d8 or rook e8. But man, it's starting to creak. The white pieces are unbelievable active. King h1, and you start to have knight takes f5 and rook g1. And rook a4 covers the h4 square. So there's no incursions. This is unbelievable. The white pieces are just like gonna crush black here. He's probably lost. Yeah. Damn. You're just totally winning. Move 11 is basically turning into Leela 0. People are going to start accusing you of using an engine, man, if you continue to play like this. This is sick, and then black is lost. Black, maybe the best thing he can do is to sack the exchange, actually. Trade off one of those dangerous attacking pieces. But this move is a travesty. Ugh. That's like as bad as when someone on sound played c4 earlier tonight. How ugly is that move? Hey, let's put all of our pawns on dark squares and give white the e4 square. That's exactly like your move c4, someone on sound. It's positional ugliness. You got this beautiful fluid pawns on f5 and e5, virtually controlling every square. But the guy is like, he's paralyzed. I mean, he's just like, this is much worse than your position. Black's position was much worse than your position when you played c4, honestly. This guy is basically in Zugzwang, and he didn't know what to do. So he played f4. More desperation. Now what are we going to do about our rook? So much for en passant. There's no en passant rule now. Alright, you just took. I thought I was waiting for some brilliancy, but he just mundanely came back. Now this is the best. This is like the best Black's position has been, maybe the whole game. He starts to have some sort of legitimate chances, it looks like. I sense the blitz chess degenerating here. Where is that knight going? You got nowhere to go. It's got literally nowhere to go back to f6 where it came from. Oh my god. Wow, this is super awkward. Super awkward. h5. What do you do if h5? I don't know where to put the knight after h5. Any suggestions? Queen e4? Do you have that? Queen e4? h5 coming? Yeah, it's a little different now. But I mean, you could just play knight f6 check. Doesn't it work? Yeah, knight f6 is simplest. He takes here. How does that work? Now your knight's hanging and your queen's hanging. That seems like an issue. Little miscalculation. And this is like... You're kidding me, right? Maybe white still has a way out. I mean, black still has a way out here. Defended everything. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. What? We're losing? How are we losing? What happened? Where am I? Why are we losing? What? White is like losing now. -6. And black just goes here. What? Thank you. Now it's interesting. I like it better now. Oh, everything's okay now. After a brief interlude, we trade queens. Nope. How about trading queens? I vote for trading queens. We still can't trade queens though. Knight e5. Yeah, we got it. Rook e1. We got the queen trade. Gotta trade queens. Astrobate. Remember to trade queens when you're winning. Oh man, if move 11 loses this after having the chance to trade queens there, oh, kidding me. Who had the best masterpiece today? Astrobase is up there. Astrobase. This is, I'm too tired. I'm out, man. Too late for me. I can't do queen endgames, too tired. Who did have the best game? Perfect play by both sides, and move 11 takes down the pawn endgame. Nice job. It was a flawless performance, obviously, by move 11. Perfect. All right, guys. I'm going to be back tomorrow, Friday. Who had the best game today? Honestly, if you want my honest opinion, I kind of like WJ Lu's game, where he punished that guy for playing Queen H5. I had the most fun analyzing that. Though it wasn't perfect. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We're out of here. We'll be back on Friday. Thanks, Asterbait, for the support today. Much appreciated. Check out the groupie page, and also blitztactics.com. That was a cool site that lichess was recommending. Also open source. So anyway, guys, it's late. I'm out of here. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Thanks, everybody, for supporting the stream. Thanks for the games. See you tomorrow, and bye from the Panda. Bye-bye.